This is my about 1946 U.S. Army Signal Corps generator power unit, PE-197. I replaced this small field rheostat that determines how fast the generator runs. I had the correct ohms, but it still didn't work right, so then I'm using the field rheostat, this big one, and it adjusts everything. There's AC volts. I want it at 120. It's 120 only. This is amps. If I run the RV air conditioners, it draws about 15 amps startup on the big rooftop. There's a run meter. I assume it's correct. I don't know if it works. This is a cycles per second, so 60 standard AC, it'll bounce back and forth and kind of center on the 60. It's got a fuel gauge. It's not hooked up. Water temperature works, but it runs real cool. I mounted it on a trailer off a airport tug, painted it camouflage. I wired it to 120 on this, but I needed a big outlet for my RV, like a 50 amp. I wired those four duplexes in there. It takes a 6-volt battery, but all I've got is 12 volts. It's got a starter solenoid I put on there like off a Ford. It has an external oil filter. It had copper lines that kept linking, so I ordered these hydraulic lines out of Lincoln, Nebraska, Surplus Center. It's got a fuel pump. It's got a lever you can pump it, but I don't run it very often. It drains back down, so I put an electric fuel pump just to prime it. I had a Nissan 14-gallon gas tank out of a 4x4, like a 1984 Nissan pickup, mounted on this trailer. It's got an adjustment on it. I bought these tires from Jack's Government Surplus. So I've got pretty good tires on it. The only problem, these rims, they're not a split rim, so you can't change a tire. It has to be deflated. See how it bolts together, the rims? So you can't just put the rim on the axle. You have to deflate it, take all those bolts out. I keep pressure on this. It's a 6.5 kilowatt generator. It's got about 15 pounds oil pressure running. I got a ATV air filter, but it's fallen apart after a couple years. There's that same upflow carburetor that's on my other Hercules motor. There's the speed governor control. That fan came from Jack's Government Surplus. I don't know what it's off of, but I made it work for this. I piped the circulating water to a Mercedes-Benz big copper radiator. It runs cool all the time. This trailer has a little bit of suspension, but not much. Well, I just primed it. I haven't tried starting it since June. It's got a kill switch, stop, battery start, hand crank switch. I just leave those on all the time. It's got a 50 amp breaker. I found a glass pack at the bus yard, old Pueblo trolley. And I've also got an extra elbow and muffler I put on. Runs a little bit quieter. Here we go.